3D printing. Some useful things and some not so useful things, but mostly useful things. That's kind of the point of this video. 3D printing things that might actually be useful. Starting with this Game Boy Pocket stand, I love these Game Boy stands. This one's a brilliant design. It's got the Game Boy Pocket logo on the front there. But it just fits like a glove. It's actually kind of satisfying to just take the Game Boy Pocket and just kind of drop it in there. This little holder for my 8-bit. So, this is how specific you can get. Somebody's made a holder to specifically hold two of these 8-bit Do SN30 Pro style controllers. And they just perfectly sit in there and it keeps them organized. So that's pretty useful. Things that aren't so useful. I don't know. Look at this little GameCube. What does it do? Well, that's all. That's all it does. It's basically just like a little fidget toy thing. You just kind of press on the optical, drive door, and it just kind of clicks in. But it's kind of cute, right? Little GameCube. There's a zapper, little NES zapper. It's one of those little elastic guns. So it's got this little wheel that rotates and you put elastics on it, and you pull the trigger and it shoots the elastics. You've seen them before, but have you seen one that looks like a little zapper? That's pretty cool. Fan grills. Maybe you want to make some fan grills for your computer. You can get some custom ones, make your own logo, or put the AMD logo on there in this case, and that would look pretty good. Maybe on, for example, the back fan there. Could have the AMD logo. I've already got the AMD logo on my graphics card, which I painted the backplate brown. Yes, don't mind me. I love my brown Noctua colors, and I didn't like the way the backplate looked on that, so I painted it brown. Basic little phone stand. Sometimes when you're sitting at your computer desk, you just need a spot to plop your phone down. And I don't know, I liked the design on that one. Little thing to hold my Fio DAC, which on the side of my desk here, we've got some headphone holders. But yeah, I printed this headphone holder, these headphone holders, and this little thing to hold the Fio DAC. I had originally mounted that on the side of the desk, but I gotta warn you guys, if you're gonna hard mount your DAC on the side of your desk, just keep mind of where the headphone jack is and how the headphone jack is sticking out beyond the side of the desk. And yeah, you would have to be really careful there. That's a bit of a no-no. The desk fan, I originally printed one in orange that you guys would have saw, and eventually did another one in green. Again, very, very useful. And then I guess getting into some of the stuff that I designed. So yeah, this little Panasonic TV. Now, this thing's not really useful. It doesn't really do anything, but that's my childhood TV. Was a 1970, I believe it was 1979 Panasonic TV. And it kind of had a unique look to it. It had the speaker up top and the knobs at the bottom, which is kind of the opposite of most TVs from the 80s. Had the knobs at the top and the speaker at the bottom. So little bit of a unique look to it, and I always really liked the way this TV looked. So I did up this, I kind of just in Tinkercad designed what the TV kind of looked like just to make a little model of it. But that kind of led into this, something that's actually kind of useful. Arguably, it's not super useful, but it's kind of cool. This is just like a little phone stand / dock that I designed to look like that Panasonic TV again, with the speaker up top and the knobs at the bottom, and the little power switch, volume switch is all the way at the bottom right on that. Again, kind of a unique looking TV for its time. So I designed this to look like that, and specifically hold my Pixel 7 phone when I have the case on it. And the screen cutout is designed to fit exactly 4:3 content. So if you're watching old Ninja Turtles cartoons, for example, as you can see here, the cutout is exact to the size of my Pixel 7 screen when you're watching 4:3 content. And of course, if you want to play some emulators, like maybe some NES, here's some Super Mario Brothers. Again, the cutout's the exact size of that screen. for being 4x3. Again, designed that in Tinkercad. Took maybe 20 minutes to design it, and about under an hour, just under an hour to print it. So pretty cool. Really wasn't hard to do in Tinkercad. I just measured the screen, specifically the height. So I took, when my phone's in landscape mode, I kind of measured the height of the screen there. And I think it was something like 93 millimeters, for example. And then I punched into Google. So if the screen's 93 millimeters tall, how wide would it be if it was in the 4:3 aspect ratio? And it gave me a number I don't know, it was 120 millimeters or something like that. So yeah, I just in Tinkercad punched in 93 millimeters by 120 millimeters or whatever it was, and we got the 4:3 aspect ratio perfect. So yeah, this is pretty cool design. It's two-piece. The back piece is black. I've got a little bit of a bevel in the bottom there, and the black piece has these two little posts, and the gray piece has these two holes, so that just kind of lines up and holds it together. Simple little design, but I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know how useful it is. Definitely not as useful as the other thing that I designed here, and that's this microphone stand. So this microphone here, I had a cheap little, plastic $10 tripod. Yeah, it didn't last very long. As you can imagine, it broke. And so this microphone was just kind of sitting on my desk for a little while. And I was like, I need something. And I was like, oh yeah, I can print a microphone stand and literally print the threads right into it. I thought, I don't want it to be too big. I don't want it to take up a lot of room on the desk, especially width-wise. I wanted it to be narrow. I didn't want it to be very tall, just tall enough that the microphone can, slant up and angle towards me. I was really able to make it the perfect size. It's pretty stable. It's not just gonna fall over, but it's nice and compact. Doesn't take up a lot of room on the desk. And then I thought, if this is gonna sit on the desk, might as well make it look cool. So I put the little vents on the side and the 16-bit on top with a little bit of design. It's kind of make it look kind of like a Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, because again, if it's gonna sit on your desk, you might as well make it look cool. That was my thought anyways. So that's a pretty cool design, right? And that's something that's useful. I needed a mic stand. This is very useful. I got exactly what I wanted, the size I wanted. It's the perfect size. Again, doesn't take up a lot of room on the desk, but it's stable. Oh, and I almost forgot. Another thing I designed here on my keyboard. You'll notice these 4 keys. We got record, track back, play, pause, and track forward. I made those keys. I made those keycaps custom so that they fit the profile of this keyboard with the custom logos that I wanted on them. So before I had just these generic logos that had nothing to do with what the keys actually did, but I was able to make my own keycaps with custom logos on them that actually match what the keyboard does. So how freaking cool is that? We'll leave that there. Well, that's the end of the video with possibly the most useful thing here, although the mic stand. The mic stand is definitely useful. The keycaps are definitely useful. And again, this is kind of just for fun, but maybe it's useful. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of cool, I thought, anyways, especially if you're watching a lot of retro 4x3 content on your phone. Cool little idea, anyways. And yeah, pretty easy to design all this stuff realistically. I did all this stuff in Tinkercad. The keycaps took maybe 20 minutes. Well, really all of it really took only about 20 minutes to design. So yeah, anyways, that's it. See you guys later.